You know, once you're a teacher, always up there.
First, giving honor to God, from whom all blessings flow. Appreciate everything that He's done for me in my personal life, and will do. Greetings, elected officials, fellow Republicans and conservatives, family, friends, and guests. I'm delighted to give the Lincoln Address at such a historical and pivotal time in our city, state, and nation. Before I begin, I want to start by a special thank you to Phil and Trent, who are the president and the chair of the Queens Republican Club, and the club members and all those associated with the big movement in Queens that worked tirelessly to get my petitions, to get me exposed. Even the Conservative Party leadership here, they went above and beyond to do what they could to help my campaign, to get me publicity, to get me donations, and to get me support for my run for New York City Controller. So, big hand to you. I appreciate all your efforts. And it was a hot summer. You know, I had to be all around the city. And I actually went with Cherie Murray, who was running for city council, and Phil one day, and it was about 98 degrees, and the humidity was over 100, and I was in a suit, and I said, okay guys, I can only do this for about 30 minutes because I have several appointments, but you know, having them walk with me and me walk with them, that, to Jerry's point, you know, that was teamwork, and I appreciate their support. So again, thank you. As I contemplated today's economic, political, and social climate, President Lincoln's accomplishments and challenges, and most importantly, his vision, is one for America. I decided to offer a concert of thoughts that outline how the divisive issues that confront us today does not honor Lincoln's vision for America. Issues such as a failing educational system, lack of organic, sustainable growth in our economy, and virtually no encouragement of uninhibited participation in capitalism for all, through principles of hard work inspired by a vision for a better America. Instead, we have a system that suppresses God-given talents, creativity, development of new skills, and cultivation of the entrepreneurial spirit. Hence, my topic today is 150 years. We are still a house divided. The state of our union is like a bad marriage, filled with financial troubles, bad spending habits, verbal abuse, and a host of irreconcilable differences, leaving the children of tomorrow with a bleak future and lack of direction, to say the least. We must seek to educate and provide opportunities for all, with the understanding that our respective talents, when cultivated, help advance each other and society at large. Freedom, physically, mentally, spiritually, will tap into the collective powers of individuals and unlock economic growth, innovation, while providing the opportunity to restore values and the family structure. As one analyzes the first industrial, I had to get some history in here. All right. When when I was found out when Jerry was going to introduce me. As one analyzes the first industrial revolution, which transpired between 1760 and 1840, we come to know that America experienced exponential economic growth shortly before becoming independent from Great Britain, which lasted many years after the birth of our nation. Through political and economic freedom, we advanced our gross domestic production by moving from hand production to machine manufacturing. We improved the efficiency of water and steam power plants and realized the emergence of an enhanced capitalistic economy, all of which call for a paradigm shift in the moral consciousness and fiber of our country. Lincoln understood that talent was indiscriminately given to all mankind by the grace of our Creator. Hence, Lincoln, the first Republican president and a man of courage to emancipate those in slavery for a moral purpose, while establishing an economic vision for a second industrial revolution, which started in 1860, but he never had an opportunity to see it come to pass. After the freedom of slaves, again, America experienced growth in its mass production of goods with an expanded use of electricity and the advent of the combustion engine, the telephone, radio, and railroads to augment distribution in new markets. While the second phase of growth and abolishment of slavery came a plethora of inventions that still enhance our lives today. Many of these great achievements were by the hand of former slaves that received unfettered education and capitalistic opportunity, stemming from Lincoln's vision for a renewed America. A few examples of how empowerment through education and opportunity are: in 1886, Robert Fleming invented the guitar that we actively enjoy today in various genres. In 1889, L.A. Burr invented the lawnmower for those of us that do not like to do our own mowing of lawn, and as well as in 1872, T. Marshall invented the fire extinguisher to save lives, homes, and infrastructure. I have a few more. In 1891, J. Standard invented the refrigerator, which helps families and commercial interests like restaurants and shipping via imports and exports of perishable goods. In 1912, Garrett Morgan Sr. invented the gas mask that assisted many people, including our bravest and finest in our armed forces. In 1849, Frederick Jones invented the air conditioner unit, and in 1860, the thermostat control. Additionally, in modern times, just to highlight two monumental advancements were, in 1971, Henry Sampson invented the cellular phone. In 2012, Mark Dean led the team responsible for creating the first 1 gigabyte computer processor chip. So you may ask me, John, what does this all mean? Well, I'm glad you asked the question. It means that when you have strong visionary leadership at the local, state, and national level founded on principles of Lincoln, then you cultivate an American society predicated on freedom and opportunity for all. Not only to be a part of the American dream, but to be an active participant in capitalism and not a victim of the same, which will enable the common man to build generational wealth. In Lincoln's day, we had what we know as traditional slavery, where people were not paid and expected to work hard. Since Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation up to the passing of civil rights laws, we saw a transformation from traditional slavery to Jim Crow laws, which I identified by the oxymoron, empowerment, servitude, because it provided opportunities for blacks to become business owners, learn to trade in other commercial interests, which in part was a good thing, excluding the destructive effects of segregation. However, the entrepreneurial spirit that is deeply rooted in the American dream began to dwindle and virtually evaporate on a per capita basis in the minority communities shortly after civil rights. We now see dreadful social issues that were not intended by the Emancipation Proclamation or civil rights, such as poor educational standards and staggering high school dropout rates, broken family structure with deteriorating values in a surrogate neighborhood that is obsolete, recidivism stemming from drugs, gun violence, and other activities leading to unprecedented incarceration rates. A key fact to remember before you leave here today is 65% of New York State prison population is derived from 7 New York City neighborhoods. Let me repeat that. 65% of New York State prison population is derived from 7 New York City neighborhoods. All of the above embodies a state of nihilism, as noted by Dr. Cornel West and other scholars, which means the belief that traditional morals, ideas, values have no merit, which ultimately lead to a state of perpetual hopelessness. Some have met these challenges with various degrees of success, but we now have a rapidly growing society comprised of blacks, whites, Latinos, and others that have become part of a new bondage I call neo-slavery, which has an inverse relationship to traditional slavery. Again, traditional slavery did not pay people and expected them to work hard, which is slaves in bondage, while neo-slavery pays people not to work, which results in some of our neighbors being placed in virtual shackles where they don't know that they are in bondage in a free society. As I stated previously, we are in a bad marriage, but we have an opportunity to improve it and salvage what we can to honor Lincoln's vision. We can start by focusing on inclusive activities and having the courage of Lincoln to venture into places and cities that we are not generally welcome. Now, I highly recommend the following before going into any neighborhood where there are virtually no Republicans. First and foremost, you must remember to go in smiling and to remain smiling. Second, fine-tune your message with the right word choice and tonality. Explain why big government is not good, but costs us more and empowers government to become more intrusive, which is a threat to our freedom and privacy. Raise your hands if you want government to listen in on your phone calls, track your emails, and text messages.
No way. No way.
Aside from a couple of liberals in the back that raised their hand, I think we're all in agreement. And a couple more, seek to provide understanding. For example, explain why and how lowering corporate taxes and providing specific growth incentives stimulate job creation. We must make it relevant to their livelihood and teach them not just to survive or live, but to start creating generational wealth. With this modern day challenge, it is up to Republicans and conservatives, in the true spirit of Lincoln and his visionary leadership at such a divisive time in our nation. We must empower all to succeed by actively promoting educational systems that empower the minds of tomorrow, regardless of race, creed, color, or religion, to work harder, smarter, live better, and participate in the next generation of inventions, innovative services, and other economic value-added activities, to move this nation forward for the next 100 years. Thank you. I'm John Burnett, and I approve this message. And I forgot to mention, for those of you who thought I lost the 2013 city controller race, I did not. I came in second place.